This is Ellen again. I have another tutorial for you. This time it's for a bracelet I'm calling the puff stitch. I'm calling it that because in crochet you make these stitches where they go together and then you kind of poke them up from behind and they puff out of your work to make a little puff stitch ball. The reason why that reminds me of this is because you can kind of see how these are wider on the front than on the back side because you're actually pushing them forward to get more of the design out through the center. This is the first one that I had made. It's double bands in the middle part and then single on the outside, and then this is just another one like that as well. You can see more on this one how the back side kind of closes together while the front side puffs out more. And if you pull it apart, it kind of looks like little balls. It's kind of neat. This one is actually more of my favorite one out of the bunch. It's all double banded. It just looks a little, maybe it's the color choices too, but I just like how this one looks where it's all double banded. And then this one I'll show you just so you know what it looked like. This is entirely single banded. Obviously the shape of it changes quite a bit. It's a little shorter even when you do it that way. I didn't try one like double banding the outside and then single banding the center. It might look alright as well, but definitely changes shape. The other thing I want to point out is that I keep calling the side where it's skinny, I keep calling that the back side of the bracelet, but as you're working on your loom, this is actually the top side that you are working on. It's when you take it off and you flip it over, and that's what it looks like on the bottom side. So you kind of see that as well. I don't think there's a way to change that necessarily. That's just how it works, but it doesn't look bad. So we'll get started with this one. It's super easy. It's all on one loom. Obviously this isn't long enough to go all the way around your wrist. This is really easy to extend as well, and I'll show you how to do that too. But we're all on one loom. Pin bars are even from each other. So we'll get started, and I'm actually going to copy this bracelet here so that I can extend this one to wear. So I'm going to start on this side over here, and we're just going to go all the way up the loom. I'm double banding here. I showed you the differences so you can kind of decide how you want to do that. But just go all the way up. And if you're faster than me, you'll go all the way up the left side and then all the way up the right side the same way. This bracelet's pretty easy to make, and double banding the entire thing, it definitely, you end up with a lot of rubber bands on a couple of the pegs. I haven't had too much trouble with the hook being too tight or worrying about breaking my hook, but just kind of be wary of that as well. There's only one part, so if you went up this side, go up the other side the same way. It's probably only one part that's kind of annoying to do on this bracelet, but it's not a whole lot of fussing, and it's only a few places, so. So once you get up to the end, just push all your bands down, because like I said, if you're double banding the entire thing, there are a lot of bands on there. I would pretty much, the only differences I would make is if you're not going to double band the outside, but I would definitely double band the center just because I think it looks better when it's fuller in there. But that's your choice. So we're going to come back here. This is kind of an annoying part, but I'm going to turn my loom sideways to do this part. But we want to stretch a doubled band from here to here, and then from here to here. So just take one band, twist it over. So just basically we're stretching a cat band over the two pegs. And you can actually, you can do this side now. Doesn't want to work. You can do this side now like this so you have it, or like I'm going to do, you're going to put your band on, skip a row, and then put another band on here. And I'm actually going to do that all the way down this entire side, and then turn my loom around so that I can get this band on. It's a little easier when I'm pulling out from the center. So, band here, skip a row, band here, skip a row, another band. These are just one bands, but I'm just doubling them over. Skip a row, another band. Same thing. Like that. And just do that all the way to the end. I'd use tighter bands for these, just because it'll help kind of pull that bobble out more. Like that. So we went up one side, and I'm going to turn it around to do the other side, because it's easier to pull this way and twist than through the other pin. And just keep pushing your bands down as you go. So we have a lot more to put on. So you're just going straight across from where you did before. Like that. All right. So make sure they're all pushed down far. And come back to your red arrow side. And this is where you'll be adding in your colors, or whatever you want in the center. And we're going to go from this pin to here. I'm doing two bands. And from the same pin to the center. And then from this pin over to the right. So just like that. Then we're going to go from here to the center. From here to the center. And from here to the center. Just like that. And we repeat that in every square down the loom. So from the center out to the left, center straight up, and then the center to the right. And from the left up here to the center, middle to the center of this part, just like that. Just keep going there. There gets to be a lot of bands on this peg because we still actually have to put an end cap there too, so. And last one, like that. Not too hard yet. Now back to the beginning here. We need to triple loop a band where the cross pieces meet in the center. So one, and in the next middle here, and all the way down the loom on this part. It gets hard because there's so many bands on there that there's nowhere for this to grip onto. Triple looped, and we're triple looping them so that it's helps create a tighter bobble or puff there. Last one, right on the end. Alright, so that's all of that, and now we're actually going to do a little bit of looming. So, I'm going to turn our loom around so it's easier. So starting down here, just go in through the end cap you created, and take, in my case, top two bands, and just pull them back towards themselves. Just like that. And these are a little bit more of a pain, because we're pulling them back towards themselves. Just don't want to take your end cap off. And just grab the next ones over. Take all those out. And you're going to do that for each end cap. This one's a little easier now because we've stretched it out. So just grab those top bands, just the top bands. Okay, it's supposed to be easier. If you don't twist your bands all up. Just like that. And then go up to the next end cap. And again, hang on to your end cap when you're pulling these first ones out, especially because it likes to come with him. Like that. Always want to go in here, but just through the end caps. Couple more to go. And last one. Bands. Well, guess I got a little excited here and added a band for some reason. Just double banding. Okay. So now you have all that loomed, and now we're going to do kind of the annoying part. Make sure these are pushed down. And if some of you have realized yet, there's nothing holding the centers of these together. And to fix that, I'm going to take two bands. Actually, I want the right two bands. Two bands, I'm going to go put my hook down through the center of all this, get it underneath, and bring it up over the top of the side pieces, like that. And put a couple bands on, and then just pull it through, like that. So we kind of got it hooked. Put this end on this side, pull this end over, and put it on this side. Just like that. And we're going to do that for every one of these. So hook down through the center, bring it up over the top of this other one, put our bands on there, maybe, on there. Then if you turn your hook towards your pin, less chance of snagging your rubber bands that are already there, so you don't have to mess with that. I'm going to put this side on and pull this side over and put it on the other pin. Just like that. I tried figuring out a way to loop these in while I was doing the laying of the bands, but this really is probably the easiest way to do it. Oops. And pull tight on these on your hook so they stay on there. Down through the center. And I'm just using the colors that are going to mix together here in the middle. You can use whatever you want. But I just figured that way if I do see them a little bit, that they'll kind of blend in. But once you get this part done, it's pretty smooth sailing for the rest of it, so like that. And last one. Just like that. So that's the only really annoying part to do. Now we're going to come back to, this is the non-red arrow side. Doesn't really matter yet for going up the sides, but you're going to go in these end caps here and grab, should be this band, and pull that back towards the outside. Like that, and go in and grab the other side and pull that back out towards the outside as well. And do that for every one. And these are pretty easy because the opening is already pretty large, so all the way to the end. Like that. Now come back here and you're going to loom up the sides. So go in through here, bottom band, and pull it over. These points, there are a lot of bands on here. If you're worried about your hook breaking, maybe a different hook, or I guess I don't think it's not too tight, but it would probably depend on your band. If you're using like those neon bands, they're kind of sticky, so I'd be careful with those and trying to pull too hard. So let's go all the way up the side. Alright, and come back and do the other side. Alright, and that is all the looming that we need to do. Probably just want to make a quick check of your middle parts to make sure you got through all your bands, so that we don't lose any of them. I usually just kind of look through the side and I can see fairly easily that I've captured them. So now, since I plan to extend this right away to show you, to make it a little easier on myself, I'm actually going to stick a couple different hooks through the ends here, because there are two open points here. You can pull a band up through, put a C-clip on here, make it a little easier to do a transfer so you don't have to try and remove a C-clip off of all these bands, but rather just off one band. It's however you want to do it, but if you're going to make this longer right away, which you'll have to do if you want it to go around your wrist, just want to stick some things in here to hold them. Pardon my hook in your way. And once you have those two ends secure, when you're taking it off the loom, these points where they meet, they do stick quite a bit because there are a lot of bands on there. So just hold your loom down securely while you're pulling them off. So this is actually the top side that we were working on. And I guess the difference is that you can see where the bands went through the center. But if you flip it to the other side, you kind of give them a little poof out. You don't see those bands as well. They just kind of mix together better. So we're going to extend this. And how to do that? You want to relay all of your bands that you had on the loom before, except for the two cross pieces on the very end away from the red arrow that were doubled up here on the end, like these right here. So just don't lay those cross pieces. That's the only thing that you have to not do. So I'm going to turn this around and make sure that I have the correct side up. So just looking at it, I can see that I pulled the band through. So that side needs to go on the top. So first I'm going to start by getting the center of these bands. Try to keep my hooks out of the way here. And I want to put it on this pin here. And it's tight because there's so many bands and it's the double banding there. So once you get that side on, then you want to get the other side on as well. And it is a stretch, so make sure you have a good grip on it. I shouldn't say things like that, I'll drop it now. Or if you can't get it stretched, yikes. You can also maybe make it a little easier. Take that end cap, put that around the middle as well. This really is a tight stretch, so I'm actually just going to start taking off a couple at a time and put them on. Sorry, my hand's in the way here. So I'm just going to take a couple off and put them on for this other side, because it really does stretch. See how we have that on there now? So we have our end caps and everything over. So now all I have to do to continue this bracelet is start here, go through that end cap from the end of the other bracelet, and pull them back towards themselves. Just like that. And that's all we need to do to attach this. Pretty simple. So I'm going to loom up the rest of this and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm pulling it off the loom, so you can see what it looks like when it's all connected. So I'll be back. Alright, so I loomed the entire thing. I still have my extension on here on the end. C-clips up here. And we're going to take this off now. So I'm just going to start up here by taking off a row with my hook here. And we'll take this off. Again, I'm hanging on to my loom. Okay. So that's the back side, or what was the top side. And we flip it over. And I just kind of push up through the middle here. So I've got some goofy bands right there. Push up through the middle. Get the bands moved around. And that's what it looks like extended. Pretty good, can't tell. Lengthwise, it's perfect. I have a 6.5 inch wrist, so if you're smaller than that, you might not need quite as many squares. And by squares, I mean this little part right here. You just kind of have to see how that fits on your wrist. But that is my puff stitch bracelet. See, I got a couple bands I got to work around that I don't like here. But that's my puff stitch bracelet. I hope you like it. I thought it was fairly easy to do, so hope to see a lot of them around. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll have more tutorials for you soon. Thanks.